and who enlightened Brahma with Vedic knowledge is Krishna. Similarly, the Narayan Upanishad state in the Supreme Person Narayan desired to create all the living beings. Then from Narayan, Brahma was born. Narayan created the Prajapatis, Indra, the 8 Vasus, the 11 Rudras, the 12 Adityas. Since Narayan is a plenary manifestation of Lord Krishna, Narayan and Krishna are one and the same. The Narayan Upanishad also states Devaki's son Krishna is the Supreme Lord. The identity of Narayan with the Supreme Cause has also been accepted and confirmed by Shiva Shankaracharya, even though Shankara did not belong to the Vaishnava personalistic or the personalist cult. The Atharva Veda Maha Upanishad also states only Narayan existed in the beginning, when neither Brahma, nor Shiva, nor fire, nor water, nor stars, nor sun, nor moon existed. The Lord does not remain alone, but creates as He desires. Krishna himself states in Moksha Dharma, I created the Prajapatis and the Rudras. They do not have complete knowledge of me because they are covered by my illusory energy. It is also stated in Varaha Puran, Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him the four-headed Brahma was manifested, as well as Rudra, who later became omniscient. Thus all Vedic literature confirms that Narayan or Krishna is the cause of all causes. In the Brahma Samhita also it is said that the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, Govinda, the delighter of every living being and the primeval cause of all causes. The really learned persons know this from evidence given by the great sages in the Vedas, and thus they decide to worship Lord Krishna as all in all. Such persons are called Buddha or really learned because they worship only Krishna. The conviction that Krishna is all in all is established when one hears the transcendental message from the undisturbed Acharya with faith and love. One who has no faith in or love for Lord Krishna cannot be convinced of this simple truth. Those who are faithless are described in the Bhagavad Gita as Mudas, fools or asses. It is said that the Mudas deride the personality of Godhead because they do not have complete knowledge from the undisturbed Acharya. One who is disturbed by the whirlpool of material energy is not qualified to become an Acharya. Before hearing the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was disturbed by the material whirlpool, by his affection for his family, his society, community. Thus Arjuna wanted to become a philanthropic, non-violent man of the world, but when he became Buddha by hearing the Vedic knowledge of Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Person, he changed his decision and became a worshipper of Lord Krishna, who had himself arranged the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna worshipped the Lord by fighting with the so-called relatives, and in this way he became a pure devotee of the Lord. Such accomplishments are possible only when one worships the real Krishna and not some fabricated, invented by foolish men who are without knowledge of the intricacies of the science of Krishna described in Bhagavad Gita as well as Srimad Bhagavatam. The Vedanta Sutra, Sambhuta is a source of birth and sustenance, as well as a reservoir that remains after annihilation. Janmadhyasya. The Srimad Bhagavatam, the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra by the same author, maintains that the source of all emanations is not like a dead stone, Krishna, fully conscious. The primeval Lord Sri Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that he is fully conscious of past, present and future, and that no one, including the demigods such as Shiva and Brahma, knows him fully. Certainly half-educated spiritual leaders who are disturbed by the tides of material existence cannot know him fully. They try to make some compromise, making the mass of humanity the object of worship. But they do not know that such worship is only a myth because the masses are imperfect. The attempt by these so-called spiritual leaders is something water on the leaves of a tree instead of the root. The natural process is to pour water on the root, but such destined leaders are more attracted to the leaves than the root. Despite their perpetually watering the leaves, however, everything dries up for want of nourishment. Shri Upanishad advises as a source of all germination. Worship of the masses of humanity by rendering bodily service can never be perfect, which can never be perfect, is less important than service to the soul. The soul is the root that generates different types of bodies according to the law of karma to serve the human beings by medical aid, social help, and educational facilities, but at the same time cutting the throat of poor animals. In slaughterhouses, no service at all to living beings. And then Prabhupada explains the simple way of worship the Supreme Lord in this age of disturbance is to hear and chant about His great activities. So it is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes. Another is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. All this is heard from disturbed authorities who clearly explain. Okay. Turmoil is the very fabric of material existence, and turmoil is the fabric of entanglement in this world. We are engulfed by turmoil, means we are thoroughly, we are about to get thoroughly entangled. Because this is the way that material energy creates disturbance, and then in a disturbed state, a person is caught. Just like the fog creates a disturbance, you cannot see. Material desires create disturbance. Material anxieties create disturbance, actually. And in that sense, we cannot see reality, actually. So Prabhupada explains in purport to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, actually, just like the sun and the moon are reflected in the waters of the lake. And these waters are moving, so the sun and the moon appear to be moving. So actually this moving sun and the moon are not existing. There is no sun and the moon. There is no motion of the sun and the moon in the water. But it is the movements of the water which is creating that reflection for us. Similarly, Prabhupada explains that actually the mind is like this moving water actually. And various situations reflect in the mind in a different way than they actually exist in the reality. The sun and the moon are not moving. They appear to be moving. That is the mind. That's how the various situations. So disturbances actually are a mental phenomena. Disturbances are a mental phenomena. And then Prabhupada explains very beautifully that actually, the Prabhupada explains very beautifully that actually the movements of the mind, Prabhupada explains, bring forth different reflections, and these reflections are called as bodies. Plant body, animal body, dot. And Prabhupada explains these bodies can be imaginary or factual. If these bodies are imaginary, that state is called as dream state, and if these bodies are factual, that is called as death. Yes? But it is the mind actually. That means that the vibration of the mind creates a disturbed vision of the surroundings around us. And because of that disturbed vision of the surroundings around us, the heart of the living entity becomes disturbed, and this creates a state of turmoil. And in this state, one gets caught up, entangled, not knowing what is supposed to be done. Therefore, the path of Krishna consciousness has to be progressed, in clarity, in fixity. It cannot be progressed in disturbed state, somehow or the other. That is why Srila Prabhupada explains. So fixity is a phenomenon which we can only catch from those who are fixed up. We need coordinates. Where are we? Who are we? Where are we supposed to go? If you know your coordinates are 005, then you understand you are on the z-axis. If your coordinates are 700, you understand you are on the x-axis. Is it not? And if your goal is 100 coordinates, then you understand how much left you have to take, how much right you have to take, how much up you have to go, how much, east, west, north, south, up, down, So you understand which direction, how much to move, is it not? So now what happens is that a devotee makes his motion, so he is at a certain coordinate, and this devotee from this coordinate, and then he reaches somewhere, but then he doesn't understand where he has reached. So now again, if you have to check your coordinate, you have to check your coordinate with respect to some origin, is it not? What Maya does is that it creates a disturbance, and therefore living entity, he changes his origin, So Maya creates a disturbance, the living entity changes its origin. Now if you change your origin, then the most comfortable situation will become into miserable situation. A little problematic situation may become a suicidal situation. This is what is going to happen. So Maya is very intelligent actually, in that way. Because you see, suppose if one is progressing towards bhakti and Maya Shakti, suppose it had to pick up this living entity and put him somewhere which is not so conducive, like that. Now that putting is taking a lot of energy, is it not? He is progressing towards bhakti and so on and so forth, like somebody is in the association of devotees. So now for him to pick him out and place him somewhere is very difficult. But the strategy in which Maya does it is that, so she doesn't do it immediately, because immediately it's impossible to do. So beta hai. He's surrounded by devotees, what she will do? Is it not? So what she does, she changes the origin. She said, okay, you're practicing devotional service. The origin, you say that you are an association of devotees? Okay, let me change the origin. So one change of origin is what? She shows some name, fame, glory. And the person, he gets that name, fame, glory, the balam rise, is it not? And then he gets lost in that, is it not? Or what she shows she shows that the other way the origin is changed is what? The other way the origin is changed, that she shows that yes, these devotees around you, they are not actually caring for you. They are having a lot of limitations. Yeah? See, they are running towards material things. See their limitations. Just like Krishna is saying, behold my glories. I give you the vision. Like that. Similarly, Maya gives these kind of visions. And one can see, ye to gadbad devotee hai. So one can see the limitations, the faults in any devotee. Like that. Now, whether the devotee is actually having fault or not, we cannot say, because the moving water, is the problem area actually. But the sun is fixed, is it not? So the devotee may be actually having some limitation which he is trying to overcome, and by Krishna has a plan of how to overcome, and we unnecessarily intervene in between, Or if the devotee may not be having a problem, it is simply a mental phenomenon. The devotee may not be having any problem. So now when one sees in this way, then one goes into another zone, a critical zone, A critical zone like that. And in that way, one is creating another association which is just fluffing the poison of criticism. So, in this way, Maya, now one is in the association of devotees, the coordinates are changed. Always going to get the wrong result. Just like sometimes somebody feels, okay, my authority, the management, they are after their own selfish interest, vested interest, this, that. So one starts thinking like that, and every situation understand it in that way, is it not? So a person who is doubting, you cannot do anything to him. Any way you act, he'll say, nahi, ye kuch to gadbad hai, is it not? If you talk nice, iske dimag mein kuch to chal raha hai, he wants some squeeze out from me, therefore he's talking nicely. Yeah. If you don't listen to him, he'll go, hai na gadbad, hai na? So now how to talk? If you don't talk at all, बोलेगा देखो, है ना, बात भी नहीं करता है ना, इतना ego, है ना. So what should we do? Should we talk? Should we not talk? Should we talk politely? Should we talk, strongly? So the problem is that this person, because of his doubt, his plane is so much into commotion that anything which hits there appears to be like that. That's what is the movements of the mind actually. So when the coordinates are changed, we need to again see where is the origin. And we cannot understand where is the origin. We can only see origin by hearing from those who are fixed. For the point Prabhupada is making. Amazing. Time and again, that's why we need to connect to those whose origin is fixed. And connecting to them, we can measure. Arey, mera gadbad ho gaya na? Is it not? We can measure where I have come. Is it not? Our own analysis of origins, goals, what is supposed to be done, what is not supposed to be done is not at all clear. But when we associate with devotees, Prabhupada is explaining, Krishna explains, so amazing with devotees who are undisturbed. A lot of things are happening. Devotees are undisturbed. So those who are undisturbed, we connect to them and hear from them. We can understand coordinates. We can understand origin. Where are we supposed to go? And then the path becomes clear actually. So this is the point which is explained here. You see, so powerful actually. We forget the coordinates. We forget the origin. We are lost. Most of the times we are lost. If somebody gets failure, he is lost. Oh, because I got failure. But somebody gets success, he also gets lost. Then what should one get? Should one get success? Should one get failure? Yes? Like we see in first year teaching, we go, somebody gets 9.5, he is lost. He says, because I have got 9.5, how can I practice Krishna consciousness? I'll study now, because I have got 9.5. Now I'll aim for 9.7. So where is Krishna consciousness time? You practice. Somebody who gets 6 point, he also is lost. He says, because I have got bad grades, how can I practice? So what grade one should get? And somebody gets in between. So he feels that because I am good for nothing, I am in between, there is no speciality. Phika hai life. If you are 9-pointer, you are a hero. If you are 5-pointer, you are another kind of hero. Lekin main to zero hai, beech ka hai. Is it not? So he feels, kahin to jana hai, idhar jaunga ya udhar jaunga. Is it not? What is the point in getting 7.5? 8, At least either it should be rocking this way or it should be rocking that way. Either I'll become the VP of Gymkhana with 6 point, or I'll become the university topper. So how can I practice Krishna consciousness? So this is the point. We get lost unnecessarily, is it not? Somebody then first year is lost. He's saying that I have just come to Krishna consciousness. Why are you telling seriousness? I'll take it up slowly. First I need to enjoy. Somebody is in third year, he's saying, why are you telling me seriousness? This is the time to go abroad for internships, this, that, So I need to focus on that. Somebody fourth year is saying, now I want to fly off, After the flight, I will talk to you, Like that. We lost time and again, actually. So we need to hear from one who is undisturbed. Devotee association means hooking on to somebody whose disturbance factor is less than us. So connecting to him, our oscillations can get tamed. This is the parampara system actually. The Krishna is fixed. The Krishna's eternal associates are fixed. The Mahabhagavad Acharyas, they are fixed like that. And then those who are connected to Mahabhagavad Acharya, their oscillation vibrations are less. And we can learn our oscillations become. This is the process. Very amazing. The Prabhupada, this is very amazing. We simply hear from the undisturbed. For the path of Krishna consciousness, Vyavasatmika Buddhi, it is fixed. And this fixity is not easy to get because we get shaken up every now and then. Any situation comes, shakes us up. Even a sneeze is sufficient to shake us up. Because that sneeze can convince us, that because I am ill, I cannot do some seva or I cannot attend mind program or whatever. So even a small sneeze is sufficient. What to say of anything else actually. So therefore, one should never compromise on this principle of association. We can never say that we know what is supposed to be done. We are completely shaken up every now and then. So one needs to sit down, one needs to approach and hear from the seniors. We should make it a very important agenda of our lives actually. To connect to seniors and to hear from them actually. The problems in our life will aggravate when we become more and more independent. But if we always keep this factor that yes, I need to take guidance, I need to understand and learn how to serve Krishna in a more proper way, and therefore I need guidelines. As we grow in Krishna consciousness, nobody is going to enforce things upon us. Enforcement is only done for a baby because one understands that he cannot do it on his own, and therefore, as a service, one can enforce. But that's a loving enforce. But then, just like somebody just shifts to voice, we understand that he cannot wake up. So every day some devotees go and wake them up, But that's only till one is, says third semester. The fourth semester, nobody will wake up, The third year, nobody will wake up, is it not? Similarly, one may say, okay, there's a strict attendance system, Mahamantra writing and all that, but that is there to help one and initially come to that stage of commitment, So okay, the morning program in charge may come, somebody third year, fourth year, Mahamantra late, So one may be, making a sullen face, And you'll be writing, क्या है ना, भाव तो लिखना पड़ता है, क्या life. So that can only happen as long as one is staying in yoga, seva kunj, After that, nothing. Yes. Where are the so that is the point actually. That after that, so this is like the training that help is given so that we can stand erect. After that, one has to himself develop that attitude to cling on, is it not? Okay, we are in Yoga Voice Seva Kunj, there is the sadhana score and everything 0 is very evident to everybody and all that, Okay, the first name 000, like that, very evident, like that, is it not? But this is not going to remain for all time, right? So that way, as one grows, then nobody will be after us. Hey, sadhana score kidhar hai tumhara, Hey, sadhana score, like that. So one should be himself eager to fill the sadhana ka. One should be himself eager. Like I remember Pune, they used to have brahmachari ashram sadhana school. The brahmachari, somebody will come, the monitor, hey, sadhana score. Then some devotees are feeling, arey, we have been practicing so long, we bhi sadhana card chal raha hai, score. Then it was made okay, fine. Now it is, optional. Those who want, they can give scores. No, these are brahmachari, they passed 20 years in Krishna consciousness, 15 years and all that. It's optional. If you want, you can give your score. But if you feel you can manage yourself, it's okay. So you see, what one has to come up is a self-initiated enthusiasm. No, I need association. No, I need service. Nobody will run behind us. Oh, Prabhuji, please, do the seva. Nobody is going to run behind us actually. So this triggered state has to come actually. So in the same way actually, therefore a sadhaka has to learn that I need to work hard on these fronts to protect my Krishna consciousness. None of us can say that, Avito, we are in such a state that lifelong we can practice. Impossible. Is it not? That's why Shastras are giving examples like Bharat Maharaj from the state of Bhava, what he started doing, Is it not? He got shaken up from Bhava, And what will happen to us in Abhava, There is no Bhava actually, Abhava, So from this state, what we can say, is it not? Therefore a sadhaka has to be, has to be clear to this aspect. Yes, I need to work hard to take, I need to work hard to get association, to learn, to understand deeply, okay, in this situation, how to act, what is supposed to be done, how Krishna consciousness has to be taken. And when we get guidance, nobody is going to enforce it upon us. Nahi, karna hi hai. रोज रिपोर्ट देने का नहीं किया तो फाइन या पिटाई whatever chastisement. No, that will not happen as we go on. That was only there to train us for some time, but then we are supposed to learn it ourselves. So we have to be convinced that okay, now this is the words given to me, I will take it very seriously. It's my responsibility to follow. Otherwise it is So, and when we do that and in this way we are connected, that is the meaning of checking coordinates again and again. That's the meaning actually. So therefore we need to hear actually. Now we need to hear because Prabhupada explains so beautifully that actually if you water the leaves, you are always in a malnourished state, is it not? Everything collapses. And you need to water the root actually. Krishna. So many times actually, the living entity lapses from serving the eternal cause to serving the more and more temporary causes, So when you, so that so one thing is like that actually. So now when we, so one starts focusing too much, on those directions. Like say for example eating. Okay, eating is a necessity. We need a healthy diet. We need a good diet. We need something which is a little tasty, like that. But then if you make the zoom, one gets a zoom of eating. And then sometimes you have seen some yoga voices, what they do is that they make such a grand feast. Like one place I landed up, I saw kuch breakfast bani nahi raha hai, feast, Nobody in the morning program, nobody in chanting. Hearing भी मैं ही कर रहा हूँ, इन मंगल आरती भी एक दो गलती से आ गए, out of compassion, क्लास में बैठे हैं, कोई आटा गूंद रहा है, कोई कुछ घोल रहा है, कुछ कर रहा है, बीच में जा रहा है, आ रहा है, So I was just wondering, क्या चल रहा है तो, And then, and after the morning program, I was feeling hungry, कुछ बना नहीं था, So their feast got over by 12 o'clock. 15 item feast. खाया भी नहीं गया, कितना खाएगा आदमी, But then I was wondering, अरे इसको थोड़ा 5 item कम करना था, And is it not? So you see, the obsession has become so much. Another voice yoga, their setup was what, that kuch to khana hai, dhadak dhadak, then you need a cause to eat that, is it not? Then they found out कि cause क्या है, किसी ना किसी का birthday करके उसको पकड़ लेंगे. So it was Pune, and either they would, some say pass out came to meet them. They said, Prabhuji, you are pass out, you came to meet us, feast. So you have to give us, you have to get the. So then poor fellow, he will get 1,000 rupees. Somebody will go on his bike, to Govindas and get some, feast, like that. Another day, somebody's birthday, hey, feast, 1,000 rupees, And then everybody, another day somebody got good marks, feast, is it not? Yeah. Another day somebody got appreciation from Radhe Shyam Prabhu, feast, Chalo, So every day they develop the habit of eating some, jang bang tang, like that, And the result, 40 devotees in voice morning program, only 6-7 are available, So Rash would call this the voice as a phantom voice, Ghost voice, उसका existence है ही नहीं, जो subtle existence चला है, प्रसादम time बराबर 40, like that, Seva time 4, like that. So this is, you see, the person gets, becomes more and more into illusion, है कि नहीं? Person goes more and more into illusion, is it not? Like that. So we need actually association of somebody who's dhira, cannot be shaken up and moved, like this, who is like this, fixed. That's the meaning of association, actually. And in this way, whether we have strength to combat Maya or not, still we can remain protected. No. We don't have to become like a self-effulgent acharya, like that, Like Ramanuja is flowing, and here is and the great acharya, they come, they not only walk through, in the opposite direction, but they take the river water, they hold it, and they make the river also go against, like that, This is what acharyas can do. Now somebody feels, Maya, aise karunga, finish. We're thrown off actually, that way, So we cannot do that, but such great acharyas are there, and there are people who are connected to them sincerely, and then there are those who are connected to them sincerely, and this chain we catch on, at least we will be able to pass through, like that. This super flow of, this degrading flow of Maya Shakti. Therefore, the root is very important, the eternality is very important, the fixity and service to Krishna is very important, adherence to principles of Bhagavatam is very important. And therefore, time and again, we need to connect ourselves to those who are undisturbed and learn from them which are the coordinates, how to move, and in that way, keep going on in Krishna consciousness. So we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Ishopanishad ki jai. Today evening, 8:40, we'll continue with verse 14. Okay. The evening 8:40, 9:30 we'll have the next class. And probably next week onwards, Monday evening and Tuesday morning we'll be having classes. Today is Tuesday morning. Monday evening 8:40 and Tuesday morning. Most likely next week. We have